Dear Chairman Comer, writes Bill and Hillary Clinton, we want to take a moment, given everything, to address you directly. This past year has seen our government engage in unprecedented acts, including against our own citizens. Well, they're not citizens. They're not citizens. If you're referring to rounding illegals up, they are not citizens. People have been seized by masked federal agents from their homes. Why are they masked? Because your side is trying to say they're putting out posters with their names and address where they and their family live. So yeah, they are wearing masks now. Gee, I wonder why that is. They have been taken from their homes, their workplaces, the streets of their communities. Again, if they're here illegally, it's not their community. Students and scientists with visas permitting them to study and work here have been deported without due process. Are you talking about the ones that were starting all of the riots and all of the anti-Jewish stuff on campuses? You mean those guys? The people who laid siege to the Capitol have been pardoned and called heroes. No, I haven't called anybody a hero on that, but yeah. Have you been following what has been happening there? Agencies vital to the country's national security have been dismantled. You mean USAID? Because USAID was a money laundering. Have you seen what's happening in Minnesota, President Clinton? Universities, media companies, and law firms have been subjected to threats to their funding, access, and licensing unless they made concessions and surrendered their right to constitutionally protected free speech. Oh, you mean like if I didn't go with global warming, you were going to shut me down? If I didn't go along with Me Too, you would shut me down? Oh, you mean like when the World Economic Forum said you have to follow these things and you have to be in bed with the government, exactly what the government believes, or we'll shut you down? Oh, okay. You mean like that? Okay, I think I understand his points here. He's not doing a really good job making his point, but making mine really well. American troops have been deployed on the streets of our towns and cities. Justice Department has been used as a weapon at the discretion of the president. Now, is he? Oh, he's getting old, isn't he? Does he know he's talking about the last president? Or I don't know. I don't want to call him senile. Maybe this is just maybe let's just walk past that one. Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country and its principles and its people, no matter the consequences. And for us, now is the time. Really, now, after all of the things you've seen, now when you're asked to testify in front of Congress under subpoena about Epstein, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. Really, out of all of those things that have nothing to do with you, but you care about the American system and the American people. You care so much. But the thing that really got me off the couch was when you started coming after me. Oh, my gosh, such a philanthropist. You guys should start a foundation. For us now is that time we are lucky by virtue of the positions we held and by protections afforded by them, but we are not blind. Every day we see a country that we have dedicated our lives to improving, taking step after step backwards. Well, yeah, if it means backing up from what you guys have been trying to do since you were at Yale with Saul Alinsky, yeah, we're going backwards from that. You're right. As chairman of this powerful congressional committee, you have an immense power to target anyone and subject them to closed-door interrogation and more. The decisions you have made and the priorities you have set as chairman regarding the Epstein case. Hang on, let me go to page 2. Your work to learn why and prevent this from happening ever again. There is no evidence that you are doing so. Instead, you've forced the victims to relieve their painful experiences. So now Bill Clinton is for the victims and saying any testimony from me might make it like they'll have to revisit their pain. Again, I don't think that works in your favor if that's what you're saying. You accepted at least from those who know the most, but demand the most from those who know the least. To say that you can't complete your work without speaking to us is simply bizarre. Okay. Is there anybody that was closer to Epstein than Bill and Hillary Clinton? I mean, maybe not Hillary, but Bill. I mean, he was there all the time. In the stairway of the Epstein mansion was that weird-ass picture of Bill Clinton in the dress with his legs draped over wearing heels. You know that? Okay. Yeah, that famous blue dress. That's what was in the Epstein stairwell when you walked into the house, or so I'm told. I've seen pictures. Bill would know because he had been there over and over again. You don't have nothing you can say? No, this is just a travesty of justice. That's what this is. Okay. Well, I honestly don't think anything is going to come of this. I honestly don't think they're going to find anything. This guy is so slippery. He and his wife have been so slippery forever. They're not going to do anything. But I find it interesting that he is now saying this is injustice when Steve Bannon went to prison for exactly what he's saying Comer might do to him. Peter Navarro. Both of those guys went to prison because they wouldn't answer a subpoena from Congress. And somehow or another, well, they're above it all. They don't have to. You know, who are you to say what we have to do? Don't you know we're raising money for Somalia? Don't you know that we're still off the coast in Haiti right now, rebuilding those palaces, rebuilding for those poor people that just can't afford it? Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. Ask the people of Haiti where their money is from the Clintons. Okay, we're on to you. We get it, but they wear the T-shirt. You know, too big to jail. Just exactly like the banks, too big to fail. They're too big to jail, so they're not going to jail. But I have to tell you, I really, I had a hard time. You know, it's really hard. You know, you don't get to suddenly sound like James Madison after you spent 4 straight years trying to put Donald Trump in prison by any means necessary. You know, you just don't get to do that. You know, but that's exactly what happened from 2016. On the left, and yes, Democrats at the highest level, including Hillary Clinton, pursued everything. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton that started the whole Russiagate thing. Russia. He's a spy with Russia. All of that stuff has been proven to be absolute lies. Absolute lies. Never been held accountable for it. But they did everything. Russian collusion, manufactured intelligence, leaked FISA warrants, media operation masquerading as journalism, all of that stuff. Now we know that all of this stuff based on lies. So when I hear warnings about the Justice Department being used as a cudgel, I kind of like, really? I mean, when I hear lectures about intimidation and subpoena and punishments of enemies, you know, I don't dismiss them, but I also don't forget who the people were that normalized it, you know. So you want to talk about Epstein, let's talk. I mean, you know, because this is where the truth matters more than loyalty. Epstein was a monster, and anyone who enabled him, protected him, ignored him, benefited from him deserves to be questioned. Doesn't mean they all go to jail, doesn't mean they all did something, but you should be questioned. All of them, not selectively, not politically, not theatrically. I don't mind if President Trump is asked about him. I think everybody should be asked about him. If you were with him, hello, what did you know? When did you know it? Facts first, consequences second. But here's where the Clintons are right about one thing. If Congress is serious, then anyone who had meaningful contact should be scrutinized, not just the convenient names or the Clintons, you know. But Clinton's man he was doing God's work up there. I was just giving massages myself. Yeah. So Bill Clinton spent time with Epstein. So did many other people, multiples, if I could say that. I kind of feel dirty saying that in this context. But, you know, the standards can't be, if we're looking for justice, it can't be our enemies only. But we can't say, we're not going to look at our enemies either. Because once justice becomes a factional weapon, which it is right now, it's no longer justice. But I don't think it's being used that way on our side. Maybe a little bit, but not like they were using it under Bill Clinton. I mean, my gosh, look at what the IRS was doing to people. You know, it's really weird. The Democrats, they hired 87,000 IRS agents to go after you because you're not paying your fair share. 87,000 IRS agents they hired. But gosh, those guys just could not find any fraud with the Somali community in Minneapolis. Isn't that weird? They'll go after you. See, this is where it's weaponized. This is where everybody knows it's weaponized. If you are in a high position, doesn't matter left or right, you're not going to go to jail. You're just not going to go to jail. And that's what people are sick of, okay? I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't think so. I just think that, we have to go for justice. And if you're asking me where the strongest unanswered questions are, questions that, around the Clintons' lies, Epstein, you didn't prove anything. The Clinton Foundation, cha-ching. That one is a story. That's a story that's been about money and access and influence for a very long time. And it keeps running into the same wall over and over again. Poof. Oh, wow, it's a big bank. Can't go there. Poof. Oh, it's global finance. Can't go there. Poof. It's an NGO. I can't go there. We keep banging our heads against the wall on that one. Gee, I wonder who's involved in that one. And that's not a conspiracy. That's how power hides in America. And notice something important. The story that never seems to move forward, regardless of who's in charge. Okay? Never. Why? Because it doesn't just threaten politicians, it threatens the entire system, both Epstein and the Clinton Foundation. Okay? So here's my position on this whole letter from Bill and Hillary, which I've enjoyed immensely. Thank you. And let me be crystal clear. I don't want selective prosecution. I don't want political vengeance. I don't. Our society won't last. Okay. I want America to last. I don't want show trials. I don't want immunity for friends or punishment for enemies. I don't want any of that. I want equal justice under the law. The kind written in the Constitution and almost never practiced by anybody in power lately. If the facts clear somebody, they should be cleared loudly and publicly. If the facts implicate somebody, then they should be held accountable. They should go and have a fair trial, with real judges and real juries, regardless of how much money they've. Sorry, I have a hard time saying it with a straight face. No matter how much money they've raised for Haiti to help those poor Haitians, because we just can't raise enough money, and yet nothing seems to change. Bill and Hillary, isn't that weird? The moment we abandon the principles of equal justice, we're no longer a republic that is worth arguing for. We're factions fighting over who controls the machinery of punishment. And that's bad, because history tells us exactly where that leads. Not left, right, not right, not left, not right, down, straight down, straight down. And the American people deserve better than that. But we're only going to get it once we demand it. Thank you for thinking for yourself and being part of a movement, because that's really what all of this is. If you want the full story, you want to go deeper, go to blazetv.com/Glenn. Go there right now, sign up, no interruptions, just the truth, uncensored and unfiltered. Don't just watch, take a stand. And I'll see you over there in a minute.